Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into something that's probably in most of your living rooms right now, the smart TV.
Yeah, but specifically, we're going under the hood, looking at the operating systems, the software that actually makes these things tick. It's way more complex than people think.
It really is. Because smart TV sounds simple.
Yeah.
Like, it connects to the internet. Done.
But it's just this huge umbrella term. People think, oh, does it have Netflix? Check. But there's this whole platform battle going on underneath.
A battle that actually impacts, well, everything. What apps you get, how fast the TV feels, even how long your fancy new screen stays, useful.
Absolutely. So that's our mission for this deep dive, to untangle this mess. You hear Roku TV, Fire TV, Android TV. What's the actual difference?
Okay, let's start there. Maybe define the terms.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned Android TV, or I guess Google's calling it Google TV now mostly.
Right, exactly. Google TV is the newer interface or experience layer on top of the core Android TV OS. People often mix that up with just any smart TV.
So it's a specific thing from Google. How is it different from whatever a Samsung TV runs?
Okay, so Android TV, or Google TV, it's built by Google, based on their Android system, like the phones, but for TVs.
Right.
You see it on brands like Sony, TCL, Hisense, quite a few others. And the big deal is that deep, deep hook into the Google world.
Waiting.
The Google Play Store for apps, YouTube is front and center, Google Assistant built in, Chromecast, all that Google goodness.
Gotcha. So when we talk about comparing Android TV to the others, it's really that Google system versus the TV maker's own software.
Pretty much. It's Google's approach versus the proprietary systems. The big four others are Tizen from Samsung, WebOS from LG, Roku's platform, and Amazon's Fire TV.
So Google versus Samsung, LG, Roku, and Amazon ecosystems.
Yeah.
Versatility versus specialization.
That's a great way to put it. Exactly. It's a fundamental difference in philosophy.
Well, let's quickly run through these 5 main players then, just the headline for each. We've got Android TV, Google TV, that's the versatile Google integrated one, big on personalized stuff.
Yep.
Then Tizen, that's Samsung only. It's Linux-based, known for being really polished, fast, and working seamlessly if you've got other Samsung gear, like a Galaxy phone.
Okay. Then LG's system.
That's WebOS, also proprietary, just LG TVs. The big focus there is simplicity. It's got that distinctive card-based menu at the bottom. Very intuitive, especially for 4K content.
Right, I recognize that one. Now, the others are a bit different. Roku.
Roku's interesting because it's kind of brand agnostic, right?
Yeah.
You can get a Roku TV made by TCL, Sense, Sharp.
Sure.
And their whole deal is ease of use.
Yeah.
Super simple setup, dead easy interface, and a big push towards free ad-supported channels.
Makes sense for a lot of people. And the last one, Amazon's Fire TV.
Yeah, Fire TV, very much tied to Amazon's world. Content is king, especially Prime Video. It's everywhere on the interface.
Yeah.
And obviously deep hooks into Alexa and Amazon services.
Ecosystem lock-in, basically.
That's the name of the game for Fire TV.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, some studies looking at just user satisfaction, how easy it is to use.
Yeah. They sometimes rank Tizen and WebOS really highly for that polished feel. Even Roku scores well for simplicity. Google TV and Fire TV, despite their power, sometimes rank a bit lower on pure user-friendliness.
Interesting. So more features doesn't always mean a smoother ride day to day.
Not necessarily, no. Okay, so that sets the stage. We know the players.
Let's dig deeper then. How do these different approaches actually affect using the TV? Maybe start with something long-term. Updates, software updates, security, longevity.
Right, this is crucial. Android TV, being Google's baby, generally gets pretty consistent updates pushed out by Google. Security patches, new features. It's more like how your phone gets updated.
Okay, that sounds like a clear advantage. Regular updates keeps things secure and modern.
It can be. It promises that longer-term support. Now, compare that to Tizen and WebOS.
The Samsung and LG ones.
Yeah. They're often incredibly optimized for the specific TV hardware they ship on, so they feel super fast, really slick out of the box.
But the updates.
That's the catch. The manufacturers, Samsung and LG, control the updates entirely. And historically, after a couple of years, the updates for older models tend to slow down or stop.
So my fancy, expensive TV from 3 years ago might not get the latest security patch or cool new feature because the company wants me to buy a new TV.
That's the potential downside, yeah. It's part of that ecosystem lock-in. You get great initial performance, maybe, but you might sacrifice that long-term future-proofing you potentially get with Google managing the core OS updates.
And Roku and Fire TV, similar deal.
Pretty much. They update their platform, sure, but it's very focused on their services, their content. It's less about general OS evolution in the same way Google approaches Android TV.
Okay, that's a really important difference. Let's switch to something more immediate, the user interface, the UI,
Yeah.
how it looks, how it feels to navigate.
Yeah, this is where you see the difference instantly. Android TV or Google TV interface, it's very content forward. Rows and rows of recommendations, movies, shows, apps, highly personalized.
Can feel a bit busy, though. I've seen some screens that are just packed.
It can, yeah. Some people love the recommendations, others find it cluttered, especially if you just want to, find Netflix quickly. Lots of ads baked in, too, sometimes.
Right. What's the contrast? Tyson.
Tyson on Samsung TVs is generally praised for being clean, minimalist, and fast. It often uses a simple bar at the bottom, the quick menu, for switching apps and sources. Very efficient.
And WebOS on LGs. That one has a unique trick, doesn't it?
It does. The magic remote, that pointer, kind of like a Wii controller.
Yeah.
Combined with the card-based menu at the bottom, it makes navigating really quick. Point and click, great for jumping between apps easily. Multitasking feels natural.
That does sound pretty slick for channel surfing or app hopping. Okay, what about the simplest? Roku?
Roku is the king of simple. It's basically just a grid of your apps. Big squares, easy to see, easy to navigate, no fuss. If you're not super techy or just want things straightforward, Roku is often the top pick for usability.
Makes sense. And Fire TV.
Fire TV leans heavily into the Amazon look and feel. Lots of promotion for Prime Video, Freevee, other Amazon stuff. Sometimes people complain it can be a bit too Amazon-focused, kind of burying the other apps you use. And yeah, quite a few ads usually.
So it's a spectrum. Roku for ultimate simplicity, WebOS for slick navigation, Tizen for clean speed, and Android TV for customization, but maybe some clutter.
That's a pretty good summary, yeah. User preference plays a huge role here.
Okay, let's talk apps. This seems like a big one. The App Store, the variety.
Huge one. And here, Android TV is the clear winner in terms of sheer quantity and variety.
Because of the Google Play Store.
Exactly. You get access to that massive library, all the big streaming services, obviously, but also loads of games, utility apps, niche stuff, plus a feature for more technical users called sideloading.
Okay, hang on. Sideloading, what is that and why would a regular person care?
Good question. Sideloading is basically installing an app manually from its installation file, an APK file, instead of going through the official Play Store.
Like installing software on a computer from a download instead of an app store.
Kind of like that, yeah. For most people, it doesn't matter day to day. But for enthusiasts, it means you can install apps that maybe aren't officially available for TV yet, or beta versions or specialized tools. It gives Android TV this incredible flexibility that the others just don't have.
Right. Extreme customization if
Yeah.
you want it. So the others, Tizen and WebOS, they're locked down.
Totally locked down. They have their own app store, Samsung Apps, LG Content Store. They have the essentials, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, all that. But the variety is much smaller. No Google Play access, no side loading.
What about Roku and Fire TV? They seem to have a lot of apps, or channels as Roku calls them.
They do have robust stores. Roku's channel store is massive, especially with all the free content channels. And Roku's universal search is excellent type of movie. It shows you where it's playing, free or paid, often with price comparisons.
That's useful.
Very. Fire TV's Amazon App Store is also pretty big. But the catch sometimes is missing native Google apps. Like, getting YouTube TV can sometimes require workarounds, though standard YouTube is usually there.
Okay, so Android TV wins on sheer app volume and flexibility, while the others cover the bases but are more restricted.
That's the gist, yeah.
Let's move to smart home stuff. Integration. Voice assistants. This feels like where your choice really commits you to an ecosystem.
Oh, absolutely. If your home is already running on Google Nest devices, Pixel phones, you use Google Assistant for everything.
Then Android TV is the obvious fit.
It's seamless. Google Assistant on the TV controls your lights, thermostat, everything. It's arguably the most comprehensive voice assistant for general smart home control right now.
But what if you're not all in on Google? What do the others offer?
Then it pushes you towards brand loyalty. If you're deep into Samsung stuff, Galaxy phone, maybe Samsung appliances.
Tizen makes sense.
Yeah, Tizen has features like Smart View for easy screen mirroring from your Galaxy phone. And it usually supports both Samsung's Bixby Assistant and Amazon Alexa, giving you a choice.
Okay. And LG's WebOS.
That uses LG's own system called ThinkQAI, so it integrates really well if you have LG smart appliances, refrigerators, washing machines, etc. Plus, WebOS is usually good about supporting both Apple AirPlay and Google Chromecast for casting content.
That's handy flexibility. Fire TV must be all Alexa all the time.
Pretty much. A Fire TV is designed to be a central hub for an Alexa-powered smart home. If you've got Echo speakers everywhere, a Fire TV makes a lot of sense for voice control and seeing camera feeds, things like that.
So you either pick Google for broad integration, or you match the TV OS to the brand ecosystem you already live in, Samsung, LG, or Amazon.
That's usually the smartest way to think about it, yeah. Trading that broad platform potential for a really deep integration within one specific brand's world.
Okay, almost there. Performance and gaming. Nobody likes a slow, laggy TV, right?
Definitely not. And this is where that optimization comes back in. Tizen and WebOS, because they're built for specific hardware by Samsung and LG, they often feel really snappy. Lightweight OS, quick app loading.
And Android TV. Does the flexibility cost it here?
It can. On higher-end TVs with powerful processors and plenty of RAM, Android TV runs great. Fast, smooth.
But on cheaper models.
That's where you sometimes feel it. Because Android TV is a bit more resource-hungry, some manufacturers put, let's say, less powerful chips in their budget Android TVs. And those can feel noticeably laggy sometimes. Scrolling menus, opening apps, it can be frustrating.
That's a hidden trade-off then. The open system needs decent hardware to shine.
Exactly. You need to check the specs and reviews, especially on lower-priced Android TV models.
What about gaming? Is there much difference?
There is, yeah. Again, Android TV probably has the edge for variety. Access to the Google Play Store means tons of Android games, some quite sophisticated, and crucially, support for cloud gaming services.
Like streaming games from the internet.
Right. Services like Xbox Game Pass Cloud Gaming, NVIDIA GeForce Now. You can often install apps for these directly on Android TV, giving you access to console-quality games without needing a console.
Wow. Okay. Do the others compete there?
They're trying.
Yeah.
Samsung's Tizen has its gaming hub, which integrates services like GeForce Now and sometimes others. Fire TV pushes Amazon's own Luna cloud gaming service pretty hard.
But Android TV has the widest choice of services.
Generally, yes, because of the open app store allowing more of those cloud gaming apps to be available.
Okay, this has been super helpful.
Yeah.
Let's try and boil it down. Summarize the pros and cons for someone standing in the store confused.
Okay, Android TV, Google TV Pros. Huge app selection, lots of customization, deep Google integration, potential for long-term updates, strong gaming options. Potentially cluttered interface, can be ad-heavy, and performance might lag on cheaper hardware.
Right. Now for the others, Tizen, WebOS, Roku, Fire TV, kind of grouped together as proprietary smart TVs.
Yeah. Pros for them, generally simpler, cleaner interfaces, often very fast and optimized performance for their specific hardware. Roku, especially, is great for beginners.
And the cons for that group.
More limited app stores, definitely less variety. Update longevity can be a concern down the line. And you're pretty much locked into that specific brand's ecosystem, whether it's Samsung, LG, Roku, or Amazon.
So how do you, the listener, actually choose? What's the deciding factor?
It really comes down to your priorities. What do you value most in a TV experience?
So if you're tech savvy, maybe you tinker, you love Google services, or you want the absolute maximum number of apps and maybe sideloading.
Then Android TV is probably your best bet. That flexibility is key.
Okay. But if you're, say, maybe less technical, or you just want something super simple that works easily for streaming your main services.
And Roku or maybe WebOS would be excellent choices. Focus on ease of use, clean interface, less fiddling required.
And if you're already heavily invested in Samsung phones and appliances, or LG, or everything in your house is run by Alexa,
then sticking with that brand's TV OS Tizen for Samsung, WebOS for LG, Fire TV for Amazon, will give you that smoothest integration with the gear you already own.
So it's that core trade-off again. Android's versatility and future potential versus the polished, optimized, but potentially more limited experience of the dedicated systems.
Exactly. And if you possibly can, try them out in a store. See how the menus feel to navigate. It makes a difference.
That makes sense. And that brings us to a final thought to leave you with. We talked about updates, right? How proprietary systems might stop getting full updates sooner than Android TV.
Yeah, that potential for the software to age faster than the screen itself.
So how does that risk of, let's call it early obsolescence, affect the value proposition?
Yep.
Does that really slick optimized feel of a Tizen or WebOS today outweigh the chance that in, say, 4 or 5 years, you might need to plug in a cheap Roku stick or a Fire Stick just to get the latest apps and features on your still expensive TV screen?
That's a really good question. Does the short-term polish justify the potential long-term hassle?
Something to think about next time you're browsing for that new living room centerpiece. Which OS truly deserves that spot?